So anyways, let's start with our first one here is Patch Adams. Patch Adams is a semi-autobiographical drama starring Robin Williams' real-life doctor. Thank you, Michael. You're the best.
Don't want to play this game.
We are going to play Quiz Bowl later.
Don't want to play
starring
Quiz Bowl.
Robin Williams. No, not today. As real-life doctor Hunter Patch Adams. The film was panned by critics, as evidenced by a 23% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Genre conversation fave Roger Ebert was a member of those who disliked the movie, noted by his comments, Patch Adams made me want to spray the screen with Lysol. This movie is shameless. It is not merely a tearjerker. It extracts tears individually by liposuction without anesthesia.
I agree.
Patch Adams is also known for being the last film that Gene Siskel would give a Worst Of award to during his time on At the Movies. So both members of the Ebert and Siskel duo hated this movie. When
I can see why.
When he labeled it as the worst film of 1998. Despite the negative critical review, the film was a commercial success, making $220 million and was the 18th highest grossing film worldwide in 1998. The real Hunter Adams himself has been critical of the film, at one point telling Roger Ebert that he hates the movie, and asserting that despite promises from the studios to use some of the profits to build a hospital mentioned in the films for the Adams Foundation, they have never seen a cent of that money. Guys,
well,
what
I have to say
is wrong with Patch Adams?
Fuck this movie.
I have to agree.
I feel like this concept for a movie, a concept of a movie starring or about the real Hunter Patch Adams, should exist. This is not that movie, and that is why I hate it.
The issue with this movie I hate so much is that you're talking about intent. This movie takes the work of a brilliant man, somebody who worked very hard, somebody who was very philanthropic, somebody who was brilliant, somebody who wanted to change the lives of others.
I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
Somebody who changes the lives of others, is philanthropic, blah, 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 blah. It takes his life work and dumps it down into a cheesy message.
Can I add to
it's
that?
Cheesy and
It's not even that, though. Because the work that he does, they take it and
they just make him look like a clown.
I want to say Robin Williams has some very good performances.
This is him chasing the Oscar.
Robin Williams is also Robin Williams. It's easy for him to overdo his own stereotype, so to speak. His humor is very slapstick. And here, I know that they may have done some things like this with Patience, but the things they do and the way they convert it to slapstick is so over the top that most of the time it's just awkward and uncomfortable.
Let me say this, because when I see this movie, I don't see Patch Adams. I see Robin Williams acting as Robin Williams. I don't see Robin Williams acting as Hunter Adams. I don't see it. I can't see it.
No,
Robin Williams is a great actor. Robin Williams has done, like you said, brilliant pieces of work. He's very funny in other films. He's trying to be funny in a place where it's not right, and he's playing too much of himself.
Robin Williams ever win an Oscar? Let me check here.
I don't know if he's won an Oscar, but
I have no doubt about that. He's had to pick up something.
He's a great actor.
I know he was nominated for a couple of things.
He's a great, one of my favorite movies of all time, which you're gonna laugh at it. I really love RV. That's the movie that makes me laugh.
Are you serious?
I watch it. Makes me laugh. Like if I want to watch a comedy movie, that's the movie I'm gonna watch.
The one that always gets me is Good Morning Vietnam. Vietnam. Okay, these are the two I know for certain. He was in Dead Poets and Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah.
He never won. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but Dead Poets Society was a brilliant
But both of those were good movies.
Both those are great movies, and he's great in both. I honestly feel like Patch Adams is having to chase the Oscar.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. You can see that there are scenes that, like, they're like, that it's supposed to be, oh, that's the Oscar moment right there. Like, after he kisses the girl, I can't remember her name now. After he kisses the girl, and he's like, yeah, and he's doing, like, the weird hand motions. You're like, oh, that's the scene where he's chasing the Oscar. You can see it right there.
Well, I think we all want to be clear that we're not attacking
Robin Williams.
I love Robin Williams. I think he's
done some awesome stuff.
I think the issue with this movie is that
not all performances are the same.
He's the wrong person.
He's the wrong casting.
Because he's so...
He does himself well, but I don't...
He can't do this role right.
This movie it tried to be far too funny. I think it could have been a very heartwarming and interesting movie to see how Hunter tried to change the way that we treat patients and, what he came up with and how it affected those patients. Could have been quite endearing.
Yeah.
But I don't really connect to...
There's about 10 minutes of this movie. There's about 10 minutes of this movie that is really good. And that's when he's starting the Gesundheit Institute. And he's talking about, we're going to have free doctors, and everybody's going to be equal, and it's going to be this great place, and we're going to heal pain and suffering. He didn't say we're going to heal sickness. He said we're going to heal pain and suffering with humor and laughter, and it's going to be this amazing place. That is probably the best 10 minutes of the movie.
No, I agree.
Everything else
I
is
agree.
It's
wonderful seeing that energy. He does get some of the energy right, but I feel like he has too much energy in most of the movie.
The issue with this is the guy who made this never made a real movie. The director, his known work was Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Otherwise,
well,
and for a movie that was supposed to be this life-changing sentimental thing, it's the wrong director.
That was the wrong director.
Ace Ventura, for what it was,
I would say it's the wrong cast.
As much as Ace Ventura is a classic,
who are you?
Well,
wrong choice of director.
No, I agree.
Wrong choice of director for Pat Jennings.
I agree.
I agree. It's definitely their own choice. No, it is.
It is. It's just
Ace Ventura. I don't even like those movies at all.
Well, it's mostly carried by Jim
even
Carrey.
Aside from that, it's not the right choice. You know from seeing those movies and what those movies try to be.
The right choice is not. The right choice is Peter Weir. Is the guy who did Dead Poets Society.
Yes.
That's the right choice.
Well, he knows how to control Williams, if nothing else.
Yeah, if nothing else.
That might be slightly the wrong choice of words, but
well, no, there's
he knows how to.
With a director, there's an actor. There always is. Like Peter.
The balance that he gets with Williams works very well.
Yeah, as
here
proven through Dead Poets Society.
Here, it's just like if there's genius behind his methods, and I'm sure there is because he's very well acclaimed. In this movie, we don't see it.
No.
We see him being a buffoon.
Yeah, we see a guy being a buffoon and making very questionable decisions, such as surprising patients with known heart conditions, which might be kind of funny and endearing in that they're having fun, but we're also like,
that's not the best
choice. It was worth the risk that guy's heart may have stopped for this. Like, there were better ways to do this.
There's a better way to do that. It's called do it while the hours are on, when the lights are on. Don't surprise him in the middle of the night with a safari.
I'm pretty sure that when he was creating this institute, whatever he's doing when he has that awful tour, that he would not have constructed a giant set of legs to frame the door like a vagina for everyone to walk through. I'm sure he had more tact than that. Let's put it that way.
This was just not a slapstick movie, and that's what it almost
it shouldn't have been. But
it shouldn't have been. But they tried to make it one.
I know.
I think because of that is what makes it offensive.
I know, because this, I kept watching this movie, and you could see that it could have been the next Dead Poet. It could have been that great movie. Sitting there and you go, wow.
It could have been that this will change your life.
Exactly.
Movie.
I could see elements of that, but I just couldn't get through the elements of what are you doing? Like, this is common sense to most people.
I do have a few more gripes. One of my other biggest gripes is that, and this is kind of like I don't think I talked about it with you guys, but the whole like white person's perspective thing, which, But here, for example, what of the existing medical institute? You get like a few minutes at the end. Like, what of the people who are doing things the way they're doing it? It's not simply because they're evil.
They're the establishment.
Nothing is that simple.
Most unorthodox.
Nothing is that simple in life. If you think you've solved life's problems and torn down the big evil corporation, you've done it wrong. You don't understand the issue. And it's frustrating because it would have been interesting to see him butt heads here. To see him bring up these new ideas about why don't we do it this way? Why has no one brought this up before? Because I'm sure I'm not the only guy who ever thought maybe I should be nicer to patients before. It would be interesting to see how the Institute responded and a bit more about why they were responding that way. Instead, we basically just get, it's Robin Williams versus the evil society that hates fun.
And this is what I was complaining about most of the movie, that it takes this life story, this autobiography of somebody, and turns it into a cheesy message. It's a cheesy message. It is evil establishment, bad.
Fun, good.
Yeah, like
more fun, less bad.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's like
that's not what
That's not the point of this movie. It shouldn't be the point of this movie.
That can't have been Hunter's life struggle.
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't simply, you guys are bad and I'm here to fix you all. It would have been a battle to change the way things were done, the way things were seen as being correct.
Well,
without overthrowing the institution.
The things weren't bad. That's the thing. It's just it was just one of those situations where it's like things are this way. Let's see if we can make it better. It's like taking a chocolate cake. A chocolate cake itself isn't a bad thing.
It's not the source of evil.
It's just
when you add sprinkles.
Well, if you add sprinkles or if you add like ice cream to it, it makes it better. It's
and
not
again,
a situation
I'm
going to
say we are oversimplifying in this case, but we're just trying to illustrate a point that if you have one-sided issues, they don't tend to be issues for very long.
Yeah.
And that's what's frustrating about this movie.
The other thing that really blazes my balls about this movie is thank you. What the nostalgia critic has already covered in the portrayal of Hunter's best friend as his love interest, which is incestuous in all kinds of weird levels. Actually,
yeah, it's
kind of.
It's kind of like, to understand this movie, you have to connect that to the fact that I bet you what happened was I couldn't find enough research on how the rights to this film were acquired. What I honestly feel like happened, the actual Hunter Adams said, you guys can make the movie so long as you donate a lot. You give X number of percentage to the foundation, the charity, and help build the hospital, and they never gave any.
Which has happened so beautifully. Yeah, I think that last sentence tells you everything you need to know about this movie.
Basically, it's a cash grab. Yeah,
it's a cash grab.
And
it doesn't care about
successful
cash. It doesn't care about you. It just wants your wallet.
And it knows that it can get your wallet through probably what was a pretty easy trailer. I've never seen the trailer, but that's a pretty sellable trailer.
Well, they didn't even have to try.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the big reasons why Robin Williams is in this movie. Is because that's what they needed to sell it.
He doesn't have to try to do this.
Well, not that. I think that's a disservice to the man. But he's a big enough name that his name sells the movie. Kind of like Will Smith, for example. Most people will go see a Will Smith movie simply because Will Smith is in it, not because they know much about the movie.
I hate you will go see a movie. Yeah. Brad Pitt, all these like Hollywood royalty. You will go see the movie.
You'll go see the movie anyway.
Yeah.
And that's all you need. All they needed for the movie for this movie was to say, Patch Adams, starring Robin Williams.
He steals from
Please give us your money.
He steals from hospitals.
There you go. Done. That's it.
That's basically it.
He steals from hospitals.
So, this movie is awful.
Yeah.
Not because watching it is the worst thing to ever happen to you. There are slightly worse movies.
I think we're going to get there.
It's horribly disappointing in what it could have become.
I feel like it's so frustrating because
it feels like a cash-in. And
it is a cash-in, and that's the frustrating part about it. That as much as Legend of the Titanic is just a terrible film, I feel like there's some creative vision there.
Yeah.
And within Pearl Harbor, I think there's actually a lot of creative vision, even if it's bad creative vision. Here, I feel like there's no creative vision. It is all simply put out to make monies.
Well, I can't even argue with the fact that they're trying to make monies. Sometimes you need a lot of money to make your big movie. But what I will say is, this isn't the kind of topic you should do it on. Because it's a great disservice to those involved.
Not in the slightest. So, ratings. Now that we're wearing less clothes. Oh my gosh.
I probably... Like, just on the idea that, like, I don't... Like, this movie's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it definitely had potential that they didn't use, and they did it so wrong. I'd probably have to give it, like, a 1.5.
I'm going to say 2. The movie as it is it's tolerable. There's way harder movies to sit through. But
it was just so disappointing.
It's a monumental disappointment. Not for special effects, not necessarily for casting choices.
Because this is a story you can do a lot with.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could do a lot more. You could do something much better with this movie concept.
Yeah.
I gave it 1.5 out of 5 because I was really, really, really didn't like it. I couldn't... Mm-hmm. I felt almost as if I was watching, and this is the one thing that really frustrates me is more than anything in movies and in pop culture is if you guys have ever heard the song "Take a Walk" by Passion Pit?
No.
Take a walk. I took a walk.
You know, if it wasn't a random reference,
it was this really popular. It was this like #1 hit song, and it's about the story of a man whose wife tells him, "Honey, we have no money. You can't sell flowers in the street. You have to get a job." And then he's like, "Bitch, I'm taking a walk." That's his response. And
in other words,
it's so
vapid music with no concept.
It's not just that. It's so disingenuous, and I hate disingenuous anti-establishment things more than anything. It just frustrates me to no end. because it's just so disingenuous. That's the only word I can use. Disingenuous. On that
note. The word
note,
of today, folks. Disingenuous.
Disingenuous. Please put a definition up on your video.
Ding, ding.
Okay. And on that note, ding, going to the Life of the Titanic.